Hi, thank you for joining me on my sewing journey today. Today I'm working on a simple Amish doll. This I made my own pattern for, and I used a fabric saving method, meaning fabric saving on the fabric I chose for flesh tone. You can use any fabric color you want for that. I made my own pattern, and I'm going to walk you through it so that you can make your pattern too if you want to make this doll. First thing I did was got the lid from the coffee jar and used that for the head. Now I like to do everything on the fold, so my paper is folded in half, but if you don't have a coffee lid that's large, you would be 6.5 inches across and 6.5 inches tall. Then I came down 1 inch, and this works out to be 3 inches across for her neck. And I kind of curved it a little bit to give her neck a little character. The doll works out to be 24 inches tall when it's done. Next, the width of her torso is 8.5 wide and 9.5 long. So from this measurement here is 9.5 all the way down to here. Then I notched her side a little bit. As you can see, I decided to put a little notch in there. And you're going to leave the bottom open, and you're going to cut 2 of these. Now, I did built-in hair on her, meaning that the back of her head has the hair already on it. And like I said, I used the fabric saving, but just so you can see how the back goes, the hair was sewn on already. It's just brown fabric or any color fabric you want. You could use corduroy, velour, whatever you want. Now, that's how I did that one. And then I came down just a little bit, because in case for her clothing, and I added this fabric here, 3 pieces of fabric sewed across, just to show that you could do that to save fabric if you needed to. And otherwise, it's not really needed. You're going to cut 2 of those body patterns. Now, you're going to sew those right sides facing together, but you're going to leave open this little piece here and this little piece here to put the arms in, and the bottom part there where it meets to the legs, you're going to leave all that open. Next, you would turn it to the right sides just to test to see if everything works out okay, and to check the hair on it, and leave it turned to the right sides. Next, you're going to do the legs. The legs, I had to, let's see, I did 12 inches long by 3 inches wide, and we're going to cut 4 of those. Now, you have some options here. If you want to, like, give her an ankle, you could go in just sort of eyeballing it a little, giving her a little ankle. Now, if you want to give her a sock that's built in, you can do a little measurement of a sock. Just remember to have a seam allowance there so her leg works out to be the right size. And the same with the shoe. What I did with mine is I made built-in tights, meaning her leg has what I was going to use for tights on it for the leg. And when I did her shoe, I sewed one side of the leg together, and then I cut out the shoe measurement here, just across. Let's see, I did 2 inches by 4 inches. So I sewed that on there. Then as I was sewing this seam here down, then that's when I curved it to the shoe, and I left that part open. And I took a little scrap piece of fabric. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to get it a little closer. There we go. And I sewed that little scrap just to give her foot a little dimension. You don't have to do that. I just did it because I thought it looked nice. And then you will turn them to the right side, stuff them with polyfill, and then sew them to her body. Next, the arms. You're going to cut 4 of these, and they're going to be 9 inches long by 2/7 inches wide, or 7.5 centimeters wide. Now, you have an option here. If you do not wish to have a thumb because you think it might be too hard, that's A-okay. You could just round it right there. I did 1 inch And I gave myself 1/4 of an inch of a gap and 2 inches. And that was how I made her hand. You're going to sew those right sides together. And then you turn them to the right side, stuff them with polyfill. And then you're going to sew them right onto her arms. And your doll is done. I hope you enjoyed this quick and easy pattern. You could, if you wanted to put a face on it, you could do that, but Amish dolls technically don't have faces because the Bible says do not make a graven image. But if you wanted to use it as a regular doll, you could take your thumbnail and kind of trace it for the eyebrows. You could make a D for the eyes, a heart for the mouth. That would work too. But I plan on having her be just an Amish doll. You could also use yarn for her hair, but I chose the fabric because I thought it would be easier for a beginner. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for all who view and all who subscribe, and happy sewing.